me feel like. It make you go and get some money. Get some money. Ooh, yeah.
That's what I wanted to say. A prominent rainbow activist in Philadelphia. A prominent rainbow activist in Philadelphia was arrested on charges that she allegedly abused two children. A rainbow ganger in Philadelphia was arrested on charges that she abused two children. It's all over the news. The arrest of 37-year-old rainbow activist Kendall Stevens, arrested Monday in Philadelphia on charges including rape, indecent assault, endangering the welfare of a child, corruption of a minor, related charges on Monday following a comprehensive investigation, Philadelphia Police Department spokesperson told Newsweek. Okay? This rainbow community lady is a transgender. Okay? And I'll be the first one to tell you, I don't believe that all transgenders abuse children. I don't believe that all rainbow gangers abuse children. But I do want to let you know this. As someone who has worked with children for 25 years, psychologically, therapeutically, socially, and every other way, many of our children come into that lifestyle by way of introduction, by way of child molestation. Okay? And we in the black community have been in denial. And one of the biggest reasons we in the black community have been in denial about the molestation to rainbow pipeline. The reason so many of us in the black community have been in denial about the molestation to rainbow pipeline. Many of us in the black community are in denial about the child molestation to rainbow gang pipeline. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And the reason we are in denial about the child molestation to rainbow gang pipeline is if we admit it, if we were to admit as Africans, if we were to admit that many of our rainbow gang adults were actually introduced into the lifestyle through childhood molestation, if we were to admit that, that would force us as a community to take a long, hard look in the mirror. It would force us as a community to take a long, hard look at ourselves.
Hey, Chaos Crew. Welcome back to It's Just Messy, the hub where chaos and celebrity culture collide. No sugarcoating, no censorship, just the unfiltered truth about your favorite A to D-list celebrities, true crime stories, or anything else that's a glorious mess. Remember, everything we discuss here is allegedly. Get ready for chaos because we'll also be diving deep into our views, thoughts, and opinions on all the mess. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share it with your fellow gossip lovers, and hit that subscribe button for more sizzling updates. So let's dive right in. Today's story is about the messy and disturbing case of the arrest of 37-year-old LGBTQ+ activist Kendall Stevens. Kendall Stevens has been a prominent figure in Philadelphia, notably a vocal trans activist serving on the LGBTQ+ advisory board for District Attorney Larry Krasner. The aunt of the two young boys opened up after what court documents allege was repeated sexual abuse by a person her nephews knew as Aunt Kendall. She's a family friend who has been around since they were born, she said. You had this aunt stature in their life and they're thinking, I don't want to tell an adult because I don't want something bad to happen to Aunt Kendall. Stevens most recently made headlines back in 2020 after she survived a brutal hate crime in her Point Breeze home. An affidavit obtained by Fox 29 details disturbing allegations of multiple sexual encounters with the young boys. The alleged abuse was reported to Philadelphia police back on September 25, 2023. The aunt said her youngest nephew, just 7 years old, reported the alleged abuse to their grandmother, and that's when she says her two other nephews opened up. We were able to sit them down individually is when they broke down and cried and said everything that happened. And when she and her mother approached Stevens about the situation, she recalled, She didn't deny it to us. She tried to flip the story and say my nephew tried to kiss her first. He's 9 years old. No, he didn't. The family member said the emotional toll this has taken on her family has been devastating. I feel like she was grooming my nephews. My nephews have definitely endured a lot. Despite that, she says her family won't back down on their fight for justice. I don't want her stature to be able to use this reputation and think that it's going to be able to get her out of this situation, because what she did to my nephews is unbelievable. The details in the allegations against Stevens are developing as the investigation of the case is ongoing. Now, if that's not the epitome of messy and downright disturbing, I don't know what is. We'll be following this one closely. Now, Chaos community, it's time to hear from you. Drop down below in the comment section and spill your thoughts on this messy affair. Your voice matters, and in our world, it's always just a comment away. Thanks for watching this explosive update, Chaos community. Make sure to hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe, because in the world of It's Just Messy, the show never stops, and the drama is served fresh daily. Until the next video, stay messy, stay fabulous. I'll catch you in the next one.
America has given the black community a scapegoat. America has given us a distraction, an excuse. America has given black America an alibi. We have an alibi so we don't have to look in the mirror. And the government has given us an out because the American Psychological Association and the American Psychiatric Association and the American Mental Health Establishment, they have come out and basically said that this behavior is completely normal. The behavior is completely normal. We can't help how we are born. We can't help what our desires are. This is normal. It has nothing to do with childhood dysfunction. It has nothing to do with failed families. It has nothing to do with child molestation. And that's an absolute lie. That's an absolute lie. That's an absolute lie. I don't need to do no research. I ain't got to look at no research. I work with our children. I know our children. I've worked with our Rainbow Gang sisters. I work with our Rainbow Gang brothers. And I know most of them were touched as children. Most of them were abused or assaulted or abandoned or emotionally stripped of their identity with their natural born gender. I know this. But we want to hide behind Joe Biden and Barack Obama's agenda. We want to hide behind the population control agenda. We want to hide behind the population control agenda's excuse. And we're letting them come into our children's public schools and sexually groom our children in the name of sexual education. We're letting them come into the charter schools and public schools, even so-called African-centered schools. We're letting them come in there and sexually groom our children under the disguise of sex education. Black America is under a demonic hypnosis. Black America is under a demonic hypnosis. Finally, somebody from the Rainbow Gang has been exposed for molesting children. Finally, because all we've been hearing about is straight people. As if that community doesn't suffer the same psychopathology. All we've been hearing about is straight people. Now we have a prominent rainbow activist. He, she ain't the first. She, he ain't the first. He, she ain't the first. Him, her, him, it ain't the first. There's many more. But because there's an agenda to normalize the behavior in the interest of African genocide. But because there's an agenda to normalize the behavior in the interest of African genocide. Because there's an agenda to normalize the behavior in the interest of African genocide, Black America looks the other way. You know how many phone calls I've gotten about black pastors? You know how many phone calls I've gotten about black churches whose leadership either participates in the sexual abuse of children or turns a blind eye to it? Come on, family. Come on, family. Come on, family. We talk about surviving R. Kelly. How about surviving the black community? When is that series coming out? We're talking about surviving R. Kelly. What about surviving the black community? When is that series coming out? How about surviving your stepdaddy? When is that series coming out? How about surviving your stepmom? When is that series coming out? How about surviving your rainbow aunts and uncles? When is that series coming out? How about surviving the Roman Catholic Church? When is that series coming out? This is the Prince of Pan-Africanism. This is the Prince of Pan-Africanism.